almost says a lot that they fired the attorney at the Justice Department who
Yes, it does.
was honest in court and said it was a mistake, which the Solicitor General also later said to the Supreme Court. But on this overall, you've been doing a lot of reporting on the deals that they've been cutting with law firms to get hundreds of millions of dollars in pro bono legal work, which the president was talking about this week in terms of what this would look like, that they could be working on things like tariffs and negotiating deals. Do these legal firms, do they get themselves into a situation where they were not expecting what now the president expects them to do?
Yeah, they seem to think, these law firms, that they were going to be doing things, and they're not all the same, and they're not all. They didn't all get caught up in his crosshairs for the same reasons. In some cases, there were EEOC issues with them, and in other cases, it was who they employed. In the case of Cadwalader, nobody could quite figure out what that was about. That was a firm that had employed Todd Blanche, now the Deputy Attorney General, and he left because they didn't want to take Trump on as a client, and they had real reasons for not wanting Trump, who was notorious for wanting to not follow the advice he was given by lawyers or for not paying his bills. But regardless, these firms generally believed they could just get themselves out of his sights if they did this. And in fact, he clearly is so happy with the success he has had getting them all to bend the knee that he is just going to keep pressing and sees this as some kind of, at least in perpetuity for the duration of his term. And it's not really clear when exactly he thinks the terms of these deals end. It's not clear what would trigger noncompliance. It's not clear what the penalty would be if they didn't comply. So there's a lot of questions.
So they said yes, and then thought maybe he would just forget that they promised $50 million in pro bono work, for example. And then when he comes up and says, actually, I want you to do more and more, I mean, this could actually still hurt them in the end.
It could absolutely hurt them in the end. It could make other clients leave. It could make associates leave. It could make partners leave. And in some cases, we've already seen that. So these were bets they made, and we'll see how they play out. But the firms are now in turmoil, and Trump is smiling.
Maggie Haberman, great reporting as always.